questions?
Well, first thing I want to do is thank Jeff, Coach Capel, for, we've won the MAAC the last 2 years, and we're trying to do scheduling, and a lot of people have just blown us off, and we're a good team. We're not a great team. We're working on becoming that, but I appreciate him understanding, it's good to bring in a team that might test you, and we played well today, obviously led by this young man who's our captain and player during the conference last year and turned down opportunities. I'm sure a bunch of you read the stories to stay at a special place, which is what Quinnipiac is. So I think it's a feel-good story in this madness that is college basketball. I'm 100 years old and I've been doing this 40 years, so it hurts. It hurts me deeply to see what's going on in our game right now. And then when you have a young man like this who says, Coach, I'm going to make money playing basketball. I don't need to make it all right now. I want to be happy and I want to enjoy my senior year with teammates and friends on campus and people that care about me, and instead of just going out and trying to be a gun for hire. So we obviously, you saw his performance tonight, and we're thrilled to have him back. And along with a number of the other guys, I mean, he's really the wily veteran in our group. Sim Jones is a senior, but he's been to 2 different schools, and he just came to us as a senior transfer at the Point. And everyone else is either a freshman or a sophomore that were playing meaningful minutes. So it was a high level performance. They were physical in the first half, beat the heck out of us on the offensive glass. I think they had 12 at halftime. They ended up with 17. So we were able to control that, and we took care of the basketball. 15 turnovers isn't great, but against a team like Pitt, obviously we can live with that. So we showed great resilience. Every time they went on a run, we were able to come back and make a play, and he was the leader in that whole process. Amarri was just great.
Questions about the game, of course, but what you were saying about the state of the game and how, as a coach of a team outside the power conferences, how has your way of thinking about it or approach changed in recent years? When some people might view it as, power conferences are just going to try and raid, right, like mid-major schools.
They are, yeah, as they should. I mean, look, I don't blame them for what they're doing. They have no choice. You know what I mean? Everyone's got to win. You don't win, you get fired. I've been there. I think that, I just think that when you look at the amount of pressure that we're putting college-age athletes in all sports under, because of the money that's involved, it's just horrible. This is the best 4 years of everybody's life. Everyone talks about, what the best time of your life? Oh, it was my 4 years. For me, it was 5. But that's a whole nother story. But, I just think it's so unfair, and it takes away some of the joy of this. We recruit and tell the young man, we're getting really good high school players that are being overlooked. And these are players that I would have recruited in the Atlantic 10 when I was head coach at Fordham, definitely would have recruited while I was the head coach at Hofstra. And I'm telling them, come with me for 2 years, and then we're going to look at what's out there for you, and I will help you and your family if there's great offers out there. And obviously Amarri led the way by turning down a couple big offers from some Big East schools, and Jaden Zimmerman, who turned down a pretty good offer or 2 to stay, because if he has a good year this year, he'll make a lot more in his junior and senior year. So I want to guide them through it in a legitimate fashion, and then some of the guys are going to stay 4 years on our level. And it helps to be at Quinnipiac, because I've been at 7 universities over 40 years. It's a beautiful school. It's a great location. We have a great facility. There's great academic support. It checks just about every box there is. So, I think that's helping us in this environment.
Coach, what allowed your team to be so effective early on offensively, especially that run?
Well, you're looking to my right here. I think that even when he's not getting buckets, his impact is huge, because everyone, game plans for him, and they have some guys just making sure he's not getting touches, and when they do that and they extend the floor defensively in half court, every sport, it doesn't matter what sport it is, offense is about creating space, defense is about taking space away. So when you have a guy like him, like Amarri, that they're extending on and they want to limit his touches and all that, you're playing 4-on-4. And it's a lot easier to get to the paint and make plays and go get rebounds because there's space out there.
Amarri, you guys were really efficient from 3. You were efficient all the way, but 65% from 3. Why do you think you guys were able to get open and get those shots?
I think this is one of our best games of ball movement. We emphasize ball movement and the extra pass a lot. And even in practice, literally every single practice, we're making sure we get shots up. We call them our vitamins, and we take threes and we take game-like shots, you know, at game pace. And Coach Pecora here emphasizes, you know, finishing on your toes and, you know, just finishing high. And I think today, we know we came in as an underdog and, you know, we all just wanted to win this game as a whole. So we're making those extra passes, you know, we're cutting to get other guys open. And we're just listening to what our coach says, you know, just finishing high and finishing our shot. And today we didn't care about who scored, you know. If our teammates scored, you know, we're hyped and we're all into it. And I think that just the energy, you know, fed throughout the whole team, guys on the court and on the bench, throughout the whole staff. And it just felt good.
Tom, they cut it to within 3 with about 7 minutes left. 3 minutes later, you guys are back up 13. Was it as simple as just hitting your shots? How did you fend off Pitt trying to claw their way back in down the stretch?
We changed defenses a little bit there. We went to a little different hybrid zone that we started using, and just try to break their rhythm. You know, I mean, any sport, but basketball, I believe, more so than, you know, others. It's a game of rhythm, and when you get into an offensive rhythm of changing, a defense can slow that down or make teams a little tentative or have to get shots from different areas of the floor. As simple as that sometimes. So I think that we lifted it up and we talked in that timeout about, hey, we're 1 run away. You know, I've been on that bench. You know, I've been at UNLV and Loyola Marymount as an assistant 100 years ago, and the pressure turns to you as the game progresses. We just want to hang around in games like this. And we talk about that when you're playing a superior opponent from a superior league. You just want to hang around and hang around and hang around, and then eventually the pressure turns to them because everyone in the building understands they're supposed to win they're supposed to win the game. But you'll see more and more games like this, I think, in college basketball as the season goes on, because if you have a veteran team with a player like Amarri, who's been around and understands the system and everything, it gives you a great advantage against a higher level team. But look, they're a well-coached team. Defensively, they're going to be really, really good. I have a long-standing relationship with Cape and Timmy O'Toole, and you know, they're going to be fine. We got them the right night, and we stay humble about this.
Coach, were you expecting that kind of performance out of Roman Sayaleka? His career high before this was 12. So were you expecting him to kind of go off and drop?
Out of who? I'm sorry.
Roman Sayaleka.
Yeah, you never know. You know, like all these guys can play, you know, and so we focus a game plan and we talk about specific players, but we give respect to every guy that's on the scouting report, because you're not playing at this level if you can't play the game. So nothing in as many years as I've been doing this, I don't get surprised by much anymore, and that doesn't. They have some talented basketball players, and they're going to gel and come together and be a really good team.
Coach, I mean, they had 17 offensive boards, but only 15 second chance points. I mean, what led to the defensive success after they hauled in the offensive boards?
Well, you know, we're big for a mid-major team, so I don't think there were a lot of clean ones. You know, the balls were getting tipped, looked like a volleyball game there for a while. And a lot of them were getting just knocked loose out of the lane area. There weren't a lot of like clean offensive rebound, boom, catch a dunk, or get it up on the glass quickly. And I think that was to our advantage. We battled, you know, and there were a lot of bodies flying around there. You know, obviously a great crew. I know the officials, and that was a good crew of officials. They let us play, and we rose to the occasion. My concern coming into a game like this, with the exception of this guy, because he's a senior and he's a veteran, he's a physical specimen, I was worried about the other guys. Can they deal with the intensity of this? You know, a bunch of sophomore kind of string beans, a couple of them, you know.
Any other questions? All right.
Good.
Thank you.